this meeting to order. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Madam Clerk, would you please?
I pledge allegiance to the flag
to the
of the
flag
United States of America,
to the
and
American
the republic for which it stands,
for which it stands, one nation, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. Number 3, orders. Consideration possible action of order 2020-07-040, an order of the mayor and council of the city of Nogales, Arizona, authorizing the application for a DWSRF loan from the Water Infrastructure Finance Authority of Arizona.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. Mr. Kissinger?
Mr. Mayor, both of these items that you have in front of you, I don't know if it would be appropriate to take both of them. If you could make a motion to take both at the
You
same
wanna-
time.
It's at your discretion, Mayor.
Okay, let's do it.
You might want to do that. The only reason why they're different is because one's for sewer, one's
The
for
ones
water.
for water.
These are the WIPA loans that we're pursuing. We've talked about them in detail in our budget and exactly which projects there are and the amounts.
Yes.
This-
Do you want me to read the other one and we'll take them both?
Does he need to be the other one?
If we want to discuss them both and then vote on both.
Yes. Let me
can
read
do
the
that.
second. Let me read the second one. Number 2, consideration and possible action of order 2020-07-041, an order of the mayor and council of the city of Nogales authorizing a application for CWSRF loan from the Water Infrastructure Finance Authority of Arizona.
So moved.
Okay.
Second.
Second. Okay, John.
So, Mr. Mayor, in order for Michael Vasquez, who's joining us via Zoom here, it's up on the screen, in order for him to move forward to make these applications to WIPA for these loans, he needs mayor and council's official approval, even though we've already approved in the budget. We've talked about it at length for many years now. But today's the day where we can get this official approval on these orders, and you can include it in the packet. He does have a presentation that we can bring up on the screen. I can bring it up, Michael, if you want, but they all have a copy of this presentation. And if you don't mind, Mr. Mayor, I can turn it over to Michael so he can go through exactly
Okay.
his presentation, what we're doing.
All right.
Michael, the floor is yours.
Okay, let's see if I can get this to share it on the screen here. Give me 1 second. It says the host has the sharing screen disabled, so for the time being, Mr. Kissinger, if you could just go ahead and provide that presentation to council.
It is, Michael, and I will go ahead and share it also on the screen. So let's do you see it on your screen, Michael? So Michael, they have it in front of you. If you could just look at your page, we're good.
Now, go ahead, Councilman.
Thank you. Michael, when you, on the water systems, you said that the $11 million includes the construction of the water system plus street repairs. So we expect to see a nice smooth street when they go in and dig out or trench out the piping for this. Is that correct?
Well, as much as I'd like to give you a firm yes on that, I think that's more of a question for Mr. Thompson. But I think that the point of what I was trying to say, council member, is that we're not gonna just dig up streets and repair waterways and leave messed up streets. I believe that Mr. Thompson has calculated what it will take to repair those streets within reason after, and put them in good working order, after we repaired water systems.
Okay, so who's gonna answer my question? I don't wanna get complaints from the public that the streets look worse as the final project. These are good projects that the people are paying extra for. You said right now it includes the street repairs. Does it or doesn't it?
Again, that is not a question for me, that is a question for Mr. Thompson.
Oh, so why did you say street repairs?
Go ahead, Alejandro.
Yes, on the street repairs, what I did on these projects is at least to repair one lane of the road. Because if you go full painting the whole street, the amount goes over 4 years long. So that's why we have to go with, what we can afford.
So maybe I can help answer that too. What these cost estimates are for, Mr. Mayor, is to do the water infrastructure, the sewer infrastructure, and repair the cut that we make in the street, not to repave the entire street. Where it does make sense and we're able to do so, that would be our goal. But, like Mr. Barson was saying, if we were to pave curb to curb each one of these streets, we wouldn't have enough money to get it done. So, we
And
want to.
Mr. Kissinger, if I might add to that, even if you wanted to repave the entire street, I'm not sure WIPA would allow.
Right, it wouldn't be through the WIPA. Right.
Yes.
So we could, with the WIP alone, we could borrow the money to repair the streets after we put in the infrastructure, but outside of the WIP alone.
Yes.
Right? And where it makes sense, Mr. Mayor, we can go ahead and do as much as the street as we possibly can.
Yeah, I was gonna mention that because, you know, the water infrastructure is a whole different ballgame.
But also remember, we bought that brand new paver.
Yes.
So there's opportunities. Now remember, this is 3 years out.
Yes.
Year one on these projects, Mr. Mayor, are going to be getting the design up to AD&Q, getting approved and getting shovel-ready projects, so we can do some more drawdowns to actually construct the infrastructure. These prices here include design. So year one will probably be most, am I saying that right? Alejandro, year one probably be mostly design work, right?
Yes, that's the goal for the first year, to have all this project designed. We got a couple of those where we already got design, construction, but most of the work is going to be done from design work. And then the second year, hopefully we do at least half of those and the third year, the rest, and that will come.
Mr. Kissinger, I was noticing also that we have New Street on here, and we already are looking for colonias.
Correct.
Yeah, so that could be a gain for us in the future.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Well, the reason I ask this question is because we just did a project on Madison Street around Memorial Park that included the paving in that project. And the city didn't include Madison Street and had to come up with $52,000 extra to pave Madison Street, which I thought was appropriate. Now, had you done that project on Madison Street and left the street the way it was, it would have been the worst public relations nightmare for the people, even though the project was good, but they wouldn't recognize that there was a valid project done underneath the asphalt. They would just judge the project by the surface of it. And I don't wanna spend $15 million and have people complaining about the end result.
Yes, go ahead.
So, a little bit of the difference with the project that we did at Perkins with Madison, right, was leveraging as much money as we can. But you need to remember that when we did the Perkins project, that was a colonial grant, that we were able to get to lever money. This is not a grant. So we're paying back every single one of these dollars with the rate increase we did. If we get grants, if we're lucky enough to get grants as we move forward with the colonial grant, we've been very lucky. We're applying right now for Noon Street.
Yes.
And hopefully with the Noon Street, that changes the ballgame. But, we do need to put this infrastructure in. We're gonna put in our sewer and water infrastructure, right? And do the best we can with what we got to resurface the streets, the best we can. We're not applying for a loan or doing a bond project right now for streets. It's water and sewer, because that's what we're with. You know, so there will be opportunities in the future, right, that we can figure out, okay, which streets can we pave in-house, how much it's gonna cost, how can we accomplish it, to get the biggest bang we can for this buck. But what's important for you all to know right now, if you think that we're approving a loan to do water, sewer, and curb to curb, it would easily double our loan amount, and we could knock a whole bunch of projects off of this, but it's also not qualifying under WIPA. So it's a combination of both.
I'm not asking if it's qualifying under WIPA. All I know is that we've gone through 3 city managers, an acting city manager, a 4-year period of time, and nobody during this time had the idea to put money aside to take care of this project so it could be a sound project? Nobody had that idea?
Oh, absolutely.
So where's the money?
Again,
No, don't tell me again, John. I just wanna know what you guys did to put the money aside so we could have a good project for the community to be proud of. That's what I wanna know.
John, can I, Councilman Barona, if you don't mind, can I answer that?
Well, I would prefer.
Just to a certain point, with
Well,
my
to a certain
experience.
point, because this has to do with the city managers that were here.
Yes, but it just to, with my experience as public works director in the past, is that when you identify these projects, and the best thing to do is that when you do decide to do an infrastructure job, when it comes to water or sewer, the public works department should always have an idea how much money they have in HERF money to be able to resurface. So, if you look at some of the streets, some of these streets would be, I mean, incredibly expensive just to pave the whole thing curb to curb, like Mr. Kissinger said. So, one of the best things to do as the project is done is prioritize the streets with the public works director and the city manager doing it, so that they can look at the budget that we have in HERF and whatever they can do with part of the WIFA, and then they could probably complete the curb to curb, because I'm looking at the streets and I can identify a lot of these streets that we could probably do the infrastructure and do the paving without stressing the budget. But there's some streets here that would be impossible to do that unless you use just that whole 1 year's HERF money just to resurface the street. So, but that's I'm just saying that. But I understand what you're saying, Councilman Barona.
Thank you,
And
Mayor.
some of these projects aren't even in the street. You know, so this is making it something that they're all in. Some of these projects, these water and sewer, aren't even associated with the street. So, I mean, it's not, what we're applying for right now is for a water and sewer project.
Yeah.
We need to replace the utilities underneath the streets before we go and replace the street. Unfortunately, we don't have the funding source, right, to do all of it. But we do have a funding source, and we are going to apply the appropriate amount of funds that we possibly can, right, to do the best we can with the project. Like, again, this is an $11 million credit line one at a time, prioritize them, design them, get them ready. The design, once they're shovel ready, now we're qualifying for colonial grants, other grants, and other potential opportunities to get funding, not only to help offset these costs, but to do the paving. But the total budget and answer for all these projects and paving, we don't have that today. Something we'll work for, we'll work towards, but we don't have that today.
But we had 4 years or more to prepare for it, and the money for this doesn't just come out of her fund. It comes out of the general fund, and it comes out of overwood fees. We've been paving a lot of streets out of the overwood fees.
Absolutely.
And we've been paying a lot of the streets under the general fund. So there's three sources. My question is, we talk about a city manager form of government. I've gone and brought this up for the last 4 years to get this onto the agenda. We finally got it onto the agenda. These are good projects. We promised the people in exchange for an increase in their water and sewer rates that we were gonna do projects. These are the projects that have finally come forward, which I support. But at the same time, we should have put some money to make sure. I don't know what streets, when you allude to, that aren't on the street itself. I don't know what streets, and I don't know what the cost is, and I don't know what the cost of paving of all of this is, whether it's one lane or the full thing. I agree, and maybe it should just be one lane. But you should have explained all of that to it and given us a cost during our budget hearing, how much it would be, so we can make a decision. You know, we can't do these projects. We wanna make sure that we have these projects complete. That's why we have a city manager form of government, and everybody's always telling us, don't interfere. For that reason, to make sure that these things are properly brought to our attention with a proper cost-benefit analysis, not the way we're discussing this right now. Michael, how does it look for what is this repayment hinge on our water and sewer fees? And have you analyzed our water and sewer fees to make sure that we have, the finances available to start repaying this loan as we borrow it within the 3 years? Do we have it? So I don't wanna have to go back to the people and tell them, hey, you know what? We don't have enough money, and now we have to raise the rates again. Because there was a promise to you people who were on this council that voted to raise the rates for these projects. I just wanna make sure that we're not put in a predicament with this spending, that we have to go back if it's, what we're promising is the water and sewer fund, and if we get into trouble, we promise them that we will raise the rates. Is that correct?
Okay, so there were a few things in there, and I'm gonna answer them categorically. So, first off, these loans are each secured individually, respectively, by the water and the wastewater system revenue. Second, as we go over the next 3 years, and as we monitor revenues versus expenditures, we will have the chance over the next 3 years to back off any projects we need to make sure that we have the money necessary to cover debt service. Have to raise rent. Well, I think I covered it. I covered a little bit first. I think that covered your question.
Yes, you did, Michael. I just want to make sure that everybody understands that it's hinged on to repaying, that we raise the rates. But we make a promise when we sign that agreement that we're gonna make our payments even though we have to raise rates again. Correct, Michael?
Yes, sir. And one last thing that I did mention is that when we did the kind of the sizing of these loans and what we thought, was appropriate for the city, we also did build in a little cushion, given, the expected decreases, or the potential expected decreases in the revenue for the next year. Also, we built in a cushion at the 1.2 times coverage for the. So I believe there already is a little cushion in here that the event that that's not enough, we do have time to allow us to back off projects.
the infrastructure is slowly collapsing, and we can use the example of what happened to us from Coronado to Grand Avenue, and that project cost $1 million to do. So, we know we need it for our infrastructure. There's no question of that. I just wanna make sure that the final project looks well, that the community can say, look at, they're doing projects, the mayor and council are doing things, and by the time this takes place and your 3-year period of time to do this, I won't be around. But still good that the community says, look at, they raised our rates, but look at what we got in return. And we got another strong infrastructure for the next 100 years. But I think the paving is just as important. And if we don't have enough money, pave the lane, that's fine. Just make it look nice. Here again, Mayor, I want to reiterate, we get back to this thing of people telling us about the strong form of mayor, of city manager form of government that we have. And sometimes they get upset because we chime in on these things. And they say, well, sometimes we chime in too much. Well, sometimes we don't chime in enough. Because ultimately, we are the ones who are responsible for this. Ultimately, if this project needs more money and we have to raise that, we are the ones who are responsible for that. So I just want to make sure that it's clear and that we work on these projects correctly.
All right, so, we continue with this?
Yes, we can, Mayor. I think we can go forward with this.
Mr. Kissinger?
Yes, sir, Mr. Mayor, staff's requesting that you pass both orders.
Okay.
Both orders.
Is that all with the presentation?
I think we're good with
Did
the
we have everything done already? Yes?
Unless there's further questions from the council?
No, I think there's an understanding of what needs to be done, and this is going to be very important for the city of Nogales. And like Councilman Barona said, we just have to be very careful. And when we do start opening up a street down the road, sometime we have how to repair. And I'm sure our staff will take care of that. And I'm sure we'll have a good city manager by then, Mr. Barona, that understands and works directly and closely with the mayor and council.
Well, I think you're right. You're absolutely correct, Mayor. And here again, I blame Mr. Kissinger for that, for not getting his bachelor's degree. He should have worked on his bachelor's degree, and we wouldn't be in this position.
I don't think even if he had a bachelor's, he would want to take it. Mr. Kissinger, are you okay?
Yes, sir.
All right. All right, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? The ayes have it. Was that Mr.
Yeah.
Vanessian?
Can I just ask
Yeah, both of
a
them.
point
about
of
the
order? I
money.
just want to make sure, Mr. Massey, that this one vote is for both of those.
Yes,
Okay.
the mayor took both of them under,
Put it on the order.
for the
Okay.
mouth, yes.
I don't want the bonding company to come back and say, oh, you did it wrong. Okay.
We're good.
All right.
Mr. Vanessian, do you want somebody to take a piece of cake to your house for you, or?
I need after this, I need a piece of cake and something to drink.
Mayor, thank you for the vote. We'll move forward with this. Fine for this.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kissinger. Thank staff and everybody. And thank you for the presentation, my friend.
You're welcome. Thank you all.
All right.
Thank you, Michael. Thank you, Michael. Thank you, Alejandro.
So we all voted unanimously on this? I'm proud of you guys. Okay, so do I have a motion for adjournment?
So moved.
Are you sure about that?
Yes.
Does anybody want to add something for the future agenda items? Nah, I'm just joking. There is no item on there.